In the living room, Lily was sitting all by herself, her eyes glued to the TV screen. She was completely captivated by the lively images. On the screen, turquoise waves lapped at a white sandy beach. The sun shone brightly, and palm trees swayed in the breeze. Meanwhile, in another part of the house, Dad was busy with work. Lily suddenly turned her head. She didn't want to enjoy this beautiful sight alone. She scampered over, grabbed Dad's hand with her tiny ones, and started pulling. Dad turned around, surprised, not understanding what his little girl wanted. Lily didn't give up. She kept pulling her dad, leading him toward the living room.
Lily, sao? Sao? Đi ra đi ngoài đi.
Dad.
Gì vậy? Con làm gì đây?
Dad.
Sao? Con đang làm gì hả? Con làm gì hả? Sao? Dắt ba xe nè. Con ra ngoài dắt ba xe nè. Đi đi.
When Dad followed, Lily stopped right in front of the TV.
Đâu, ba xe nào? Đâu, con xem gì đâu?
Oh, it was a beach scene.
Đi xem biển đúng không? Đi thích biển hả?
Lily's eyes lit up. She jumped up and down, pointing excitedly at the screen, then looked back at her dad with a face full of hope. The beach, Dad. It's so pretty, she seemed to say. Lily really wanted to be splashing in that cool water.
Sao Ly? Thích đi biển lắm hả?
Dad looked at the beach on the TV, then at his daughter's eager face, and he smiled. But then his smile faded. He gently pointed out the window. But Lily, outside, it was raining. Heavy raindrops tapped against the window pane. The beach was beautiful, but they couldn't go today. The excited look on Lily's face immediately drooped. She hung her head, looking so sad. Seeing his daughter upset, Dad suddenly had an idea. Wait here a second. Oh. He hurried into the bedroom and came back almost instantly. In his hands was something tiny, an adorable blue and white polka dot two-piece bikini.
Đẹp không? Nè.
Lily looked up, her eyes wide with surprise.
Được không? Ổn nha, đây nè, đi này. Đấy, đi bơi uống ngon nước ngon đúng không? Nhỉ? Ăn ngon uống ngon nhỉ? Nè, đây mặc thử ra này. Đây mặc thử ra.
Dad helped her put on the new swimsuit. Oh my! Lily looked so funny and cute. She seemed to love it too.
Lên đây nè. Lên đoạn đứng xoay ra xem nào. Đây nè. Đứng đây. Đứng lên nè. Xoay thử nè, xoay.
She stood up straight, puffed out her little belly, and spun around to show off her brand new outfit.
Thôi, ổn rồi đấy. Thôi đi nè, ra đây.
All right, little supermodel, Dad laughed. Now, let's go to the beach.
Tắm nha.
Dad carried Lily to the bathroom.
Đi tắm thôi. Nè. Xả nước nha. Bây giờ trời lạnh nha.
And started running warm water into the bathtub. This was their own special beach.
Để đi nha. Thôi đi. Đúng rồi. Bơi thế nào?
When Lily was placed in the water, she squealed with delight. Forgetting all about the rain and the real beach, Lily began to splash around in her very own ocean.
Lặn đây nè. Lặn đi, lặn đi. Lặn đi, em muốn ra biển bơi nhá.
She kicked her feet and paddled her arms, sending water flying everywhere.
Bơi vào đây đi. Đây bên kia kìa. Đúng rồi, bên kia. Đó, thích không? Thích không?
She swam circles around the tub,
Đi tắm ở đây nhé.
and then suddenly she took a big breath, held it, and put her face in the water, trying to dive like a little fish. Dad stood nearby, patiently cheering her on and watching her play.
Cái này nhỏ lắm, mình muốn ra biển tắm chung nhé. Đây, tắm đây. Bơi ạ, bơi đi. Nhỏ kìa. Giỏi lắm, tắm đi. Tắm đi, tắm bơi đi. Đúng rồi, bơi đi. Bơi, đúng rồi, bơi chọn. Đúng rồi, ví dụ cả nhà. Bơi chọn xem này. Bơi chọn xem này. Bơi chọn đi. Đi bơi chọn đi. Đúng rồi. Nè, bơi nè. Con bơi đi, bơi mình đi. Tông ngâm nào. Lăn đi Ly. Đúng rồi, lăn đi. Sao? Tắm cùng Ly hả? Ba tắm cùng Ly hả? Bơi đi, Hopi. Đúng rồi. Giỏi quá. Úi dồi. Này, đây Ly, đây này. Đây nè. Bơi nè. Đúng rồi, giỏi quá. Cái này hơi nhỏ với Ly đúng không? Để bữa nào bao giờ Ly đi tắm nhá, tắm biển nhá. Đây Ly. Đúng rồi. Đấy. Trời ơi.
After she had splashed to her heart's content, Dad gently said, "Time to get clean."
Bây giờ mình tắm xà bông nha. Lên đây.
He took some soap and gently washed her hair and body. White soap bubbles covered her.
Huy này bạn tắm xà bông rồi. Chân đấy nha. Giỏi lắm. Nè, con nhảy đây nhá, nhảy đi.
But as soon as she was rinsed clean, Lily playfully plopped right back into the tub, determined to enjoy the beach for just a little longer.
Ui, giỏi thế. Thích quá hả? Đây đi. Đây này. Đây này. Đây là xe này. Tắm như vậy được rồi Ly nhá. Đi vào nhá.
Finally, when the water started to get cool, Dad lifted his little mermaid out. "Our beach trip is over," he said. He carefully dried her with a big, fluffy towel and lovingly dressed her in a warm bathrobe. It wasn't the real beach with white sand and golden sun, but Dad and Lily's at-home beach was just as fun and cozy. Dad put on his gardening jacket and called into the house. "Lily, you play nicely at home, okay? Dad is going to the garden to work for a bit, and we'll be right back."
Ở nhà nhé. Ở nhà chơi thì ba đi ra vườn xíu nhá. Thấy chưa? Thấy không? Nhà ngoan nhá. Thôi, con đây. Chơi với gấu đi nhá. Ba đi ra ngoài xíu rồi về nhá. Ba ra vườn tí nhá. Mày chảy nắng lắm ha.
But Lily, who was playing alone, didn't want that at all. Dad had only taken a few steps before she hurried after him. She grabbed his hand, her eyes determined. "No, I want to come with you."
Không đi được đâu nhé, ngoài nắng lắm.
Dad smiled and gently explained, "But it's very sunny outside. My little farmer will get tired."
Ba lấy sữa cho Ly uống nhé. Gấu đi nhé, mang cái gấu đi nhé.
He tried to coax her. "How about you stay home and I'll get you some yogurt? Yummy yogurt."
ha. Này lấy sữa đi nha. Rồi lấy chua nhé. Đây, ra ghế ngồi đi.
As soon as Dad held out the yogurt, Lily shook her head vigorously, pushing his hand away. Her eyes were still fixed on the door, clearly determined to go with him no matter what.
Sao? Muốn đi chứ? Sao muốn đi chơi với ba hả? Đi chơi hả? Uống đi chơi nhé. Nhé.
Her dad laughed at his daughter's cute stubbornness. He gave in. All right, you win. But if you want to go to the garden, you have to prepare like a real farmer. Dad pointed to a wide-brimmed hat and a small basket. Go get your hat and carry your basket. As if that was all she was waiting for, Lily let out a cheer and ran to get her gear. The garden welcomed them with warm sunshine.
Nắng quá Ly. Rồi chuẩn bị đi nhá. Có cái Ly hả? Đi à Ly? Đi nè, đi đây. Đi có cỏ nhá. Đúng rồi, qua đây làm này ha.
Dad got to work, holding a large hoe, and began to clear the weeds that had overgrown the path. As he worked, he turned to his little girl. Look, Lily, you have to dig into the dirt like this, so the weeds come up by the roots.
Đây, bà chỉ cho Ly nhé. Nào, bác xem nào. Đây, vào chỗ này đây. Đúng rồi, cầm cuốc này. Đúng rồi, đây này.
Lily, with her own toy hoe, nodded as if she understood perfectly.
Đó. Này, cuốc đây này. Đó, thấy không? Thấy không? Đó. Đó, được chưa? Cầm đây, cầm đây. Được chưa? Đó nha. Nè, con nhấc lên này, cuốc này. Đó, đó, thấy không? Cuốc cái cỏ lên nhá. Không có cỏ nó mọc này, thấy không? Chụp cái đây ha. Đấy chưa? Giỏi lắm.
She stood in line, copying her dad's posture exactly. Her tiny hands pushed the little hoe into the ground, and every so often, she'd reach down to pull up a few weeds. She looked just like a real farmer, surprisingly serious and professional. Farm work turned out to be tiring. After just a little while, the little farmer was getting tired. Her cheeks were pink from the sun, and she had little beads of sweat on her forehead. Dad noticed right away. Okay, my farmer's tired. Let's take a break. Dad led Lily to sit in the cool shade. This time, when Dad offered the yogurt, the same one she had refused earlier, Lily took it immediately. The sweet, cool yogurt chased away all her tiredness. After resting and recharging, Dad smiled. Now, let's go harvest our reward for lunch. He suggested, today we're having tomatoes. Lily popped right back up. Her energy returned. She grabbed her basket. Lily reached up, carefully picking the ripe red cherry tomatoes and putting them in her little basket.
Xong rồi hả Ly? Rồi, đi theo rau nhá. Đi theo rau coi, đi nè. này đi, đây này, rau đây này. Đúng rồi đấy.
After that, they stopped by the lettuce patch, picking the greenest, crispest leaves.
Rau xem nào. Rồi, ra đây coi. Ra đây Linh. Ra đây. Thấy không? Con thử đi. Được không? Ổn không?
Soon, Lily's basket was full.
Gì nào? Ra đi. Ôi, trời con, qua đây.
Bringing their bounty back to the house, Dad told Lily, "See, the vegetables still have dirt on them from the garden. We have to wash them very carefully before we eat, remember?"
Chờ tí nha. Rửa rửa đã. Chờ tí ba làm Billy nha.
Dad took everything and washed it thoroughly under the cool tap water.
Đứng lên con. Rồi. Đứng lên con. Rồi ngồi đây đi. Là ly nhé. Đây. Này, rau non nhé này, không? Rau non nữa này, thấy chưa? Đó. Đây này, không? Đứng lên. Đấy nè ha. Chua nhé. Trả tí. Nước hả? Thôi được rồi để ba cho ha. Trả tí ha. Xếp lên cho nó đẹp nha.
Just a few minutes later, in a big bowl, Dad had turned those fresh, green ingredients into a delicious-looking salad. Lunch was served. Lily sat at the table, her eyes sparkling as she looked at the homegrown salad that she had just helped harvest.
Đây, quấn vào đây nha. Quấn lại nha. Đúng rồi, giỏi lắm.
She took a bite. The fresh taste of the lettuce and tomatoes filled her mouth.
Cái gì giỏi quá. Đúng rồi.
It was a simple lunch, but it was probably the best meal ever because it tasted like sunshine, the garden, and all of her own hard work.
Con rau hả? Con rau hả? Đây, ngon nha. Đây. Vậy đi ngồi đây và cắt thêm cà chua cho đi nhá. Con ăn đi. Thêm cà chua cho Ly á.
That day, Lily seemed a little bored at home. Seeing his little girl wandering around with nothing to do, Dad smiled as a great idea popped into his head. Lily, he called. It's too boring at home today. How about we go on an adventure?
Wow.
Thôi đi vào nhé, đi vô nè. Rồi đi vô nào, đi qua bàn đi ơi. Ui, nhanh thế, nhanh thế. Nè.
Right away, Dad started preparing for the trip. He got out a few juicy oranges, deciding to make Lily's favorite fresh squeezed juice.
Chào bác đi. Đây.
While Dad carefully peeled the oranges, Lily toddled over, not wanting to be left out.
Đây nha, cắt ra ha.
Wow.
She watched curiously, and when Dad used the juicer, Lily put her hand on it too, trying to push the machine, wanting to do it herself.
Đúng rồi. Đúng rồi đấy. Đúng rồi Ly. Đây, đúng rồi. Ăn thử đi, ăn đẩy đi.
She was also a great assistant, dutifully picking up the orange peels Dad finished with and running to throw them in the trash.
Đây này. Rồi. Đó. Rồi con bỏ đây nè, đó, bỏ đây đi. Đúng rồi. Và xem được chứ nha. Ồ, rồi ha.
All done! Dad poured the orange juice into a bottle.
Để ba đi cho Ly nha. Hôm nay Ly đi chơi với ba nhé, được không? Dẫn Ly đi chơi nhé.
Lily, can you help Dad get that basket over there? Immediately, Lily ran to get the basket, ready for their secret adventure.
Cầm vào đây nha. Cái này cắt đây nha. Rồi, đi nào.
When everything was packed in the basket, Dad carefully prepared his little partner. He put a pretty hat on her head to block the sun and didn't forget to give her own water bottle.
Mang đồ ăn đi chơi này. Nè, đi cầm đi. Đây, ăn cầm đây nhá, con này ha. Đây đừng vào nhá.
Dad put the basket on the motorbike and lifted Lily safely into the seat in front of him. The motorbike started, and the two of them left the house, filled with excitement about the special place Dad had promised. Before long, they arrived. The scenery was completely different. It wasn't the park and it wasn't their yard. It was a large sandy area right by the water, surrounded by thick trees. Dad pointed to a large tree nearby. Lily, see that tree? Let's see how strong you are. That was all she needed. Her climbing instincts kicked in. Lily, quickly and nimbly, scrambled up the tree branch, exploring her surroundings while Dad cheered her on.
Dad.
After she finished her exploration, Dad called out, "Lily, come down and have a snack." Dad took out an apple, carefully peeled it, and then sweetly fed pieces to his little girl. The fruit was crisp, sweet, and cool.
Ngon ha. Đi chơi ăn mới ngon đúng không Ly? Để tí tôi gặp tiếp nha. Ngồi kia đi. Ngồi chết đi. Ngồi đây con. Rồi, ngồi đây. Đúng rồi, khám. Tí nữa mình ra kia chơi được không? Tí nữa ra kia chơi nhá. Ra chơi nước nhá. Nhá. Tí leo cây xong rồi chơi nước nhá. Thấy chưa? Đây, bà lấy cái cam này.
Dad also poured Lily a cup of the orange juice they had made at home.
Đấy.
She drank it down happily.
Ngon ha. Thích nhỉ. Rồi, cắt đi, tí nữa uống tiếp. Tí nữa khác nữa uống tiếp. Ngồi đó đi con. Để đây nha. Cắt không? Đi chơi đi. Đi. Ây da. Chờ bà đi, chờ bà đi. Chờ bà đi dép. Chờ bà đi dép.
Once they were recharged, the two of them moved closer to the water's edge.
Dùng đầu mấy cây đó nhá. Cái này đi này.
Dad picked up a few pieces of fruit that had fallen from a nearby tree and showed Lily how to throw them into the water. Plop! The sound of the splash was so fun. Lily copied him, picking up pieces and throwing them again and again, never getting tired. In the soft sunlight, there was only laughter and the plop, plop sound echoing by the calm water. In the quiet room, Lily, a smart little girl, sat properly, lost in the world of books. She turned each page, her bright eyes fully focused. But then, a rumble sound from her little tummy pulled Lily back to reality. She was hungry. The book was almost finished, but Dad still wasn't awake. Lily ran into the bedroom, and the only sound that greeted her was her dad's steady, carefree snoring. Dad! Lily called out, not a ripple. Mission, Wake Up Dad, officially began.
Dad.
First, she grabbed the blanket and pulled it hard. Dad just shifted a little and kept snoring.
Lily,
How annoying! Out of options, Lily used her final move. She snuggled into her dad's arms, nuzzling her little head against his chest like a cuddly kitten. Dad, wake up! Please wake up! Finally, the mountain began to move. Lily immediately followed her dad to the bathroom. She patiently waited for him to wash his face. When he was done, the two headed to the kitchen. But Lily hadn't let go of her dad yet. She refused to walk on her own, clinging tightly to him. Her little mouth pouted, her face showing a clear, sulky look. It's because you woke up late. I'm starving. Dad laughed, carrying his little monkey to the counter and placing a big watermelon on the cutting board. Immediately, Lily's sulkiness vanished, replaced by bright, excited eyes.
Bỏ cái thứ ba đi. Rồi đó. Ngon quá ha. Nè, trời ơi. Tuyệt vời lắm Ly. Chờ ba tiếp, anh làm cho. Ba tiếp nha.
Dad started to peel the rind. The tough green skin came off in long strips. Lily immediately showed she was a capable helper. Wherever Dad peeled, she quickly picked up the pieces of rind and carefully put them in a nearby basket. While working, her curiosity sparked. She secretly lifted a piece of watermelon rind to her mouth and took a bite. The bitter, hard taste made her scrunch up her face and quickly spit it out, making her dad chuckle.
Bà làm cho Ly một ly nước ép nhá, một ít đĩa để ăn nha, được không? Rồi, từ đã. Phải quá ha. Đúng rồi đây,
Next was cutting the watermelon. Dad carefully cut the red fruit into neat cubes. Lily was just as quick, picking up the juicy red pieces and putting them into a large bowl.
Bỏ vô đi. Đây nữa. Thẳng đi nha. Bỏ vô đi. Đây nữa. Đây nữa. Thêm ít nữa nha. Có vẻ ít đấy.
The work was going smoothly until Dad turned away for 1 second to get something. Lily immediately seized the opportunity, quickly grabbing a piece of watermelon, popping it into her mouth, and chewing happily, her face full of satisfaction.
Rồi, bà để cái này ra đây nhé. Xay nhé.
And now for the most exciting part, making juice.
Rồi, đi bỏ này vào đây đi. Bỏ này này. Đây.
Lily seriously helped her dad put the cut watermelon into the blender. Her little hands carefully dropped in each piece, her eyes never leaving the machine.
Đây, con bỏ ra đi. Bỏ đây con, bỏ đây. Thêm nữa đi, bỏ nữa đi. Đây này, cái đây này. Đúng rồi, bỏ đây này. Bỏ vô.
When everything was ready, Dad placed his hand over Lily's little hand, and together they pressed the start button. The machine roared to life. Whir! In just a moment, Dad turned off the machine and poured out a glass of bright red, fragrant watermelon juice. The sweet smell hit Lily's nose, making her gulp. She really wanted to drink it right away, but she was surprisingly patient. She knew Dad wasn't finished. Lily stood still, watching her dad continue to cut the rest of the watermelon into small pieces, arranging them carefully on a plate.
Này, nó bỏ đây đi. Đúng rồi, đây nữa này. Đây nữa. Đúng rồi đấy. Đây nữa. Đây nữa con. Đây nữa đi. Đây nữa. Đây nữa đi. Đây. Đây nữa đi. Đó. Đây. Đây nữa. Đây nữa. Đây nữa. Đây nữa. Đây nữa. Đây nữa. Làm nhé.
When everything was ready, they carried their creation to the living room. Lily got to enjoy the cold, sweet juice first. The delicious taste made her close her eyes in happiness.
Rồi, vào đây, ăn. Ăn đi. Rồi, mình ăn đi. Sai kìa.
After that, she started to take care of the plate of fresh red watermelon next to her.
Đúng rồi đấy, giỏi. Đúng rồi, chậm lại thôi nào. Đúng rồi. Đi đây. Lên cho. Làm cái hồn.
After eating her fill, Lily didn't run off to play. She ran to get a roll of paper towels and gave it to her dad to wipe the table.
Cảm ơn nhé. Quay ngồi, qua đây. Vào nhà đi nhé, đi lấy cho bà khăn đi.
Then Lily ran to get a cleaning cloth and started her important job, cleaning the house, helping her dad keep their home clean while he went to the kitchen to wash the dishes and glasses.
Đi đi rửa cái đồ canh của con ăn đấy. Lau cho ba cái này nhé. Được không? Ha. Nè, xuống đi.
The little girl used all her strength, pushing the cloth down on the floor with her tiny hands.
Đúng rồi. Đây này. Đây này. Đúng rồi. Kia con. Vào đây con. Cảm ơn nhé. Chúc bạn nhé.
Because she was pushing so hard, her little bottom stuck up in the air with effort as she moved back and forth, trying to wipe up every drop of water on the floor. Her serious, busy efforts helped her dad keep their house clean and tidy.
Đi giỏi quá đi ơi. Chúc bạn đi nhé.
Just as she finished wiping the last spot, Lily suddenly heard her dad call from the kitchen. Can my little princess help me run to the grocery store at the end of the alley and buy a bag of salt? Without needing her dad to say another word, the little girl quickly ran to get her small crossover bag, something she always took when she went out. Like a pro, Lily put the strap over her shoulder and adjusted it. Once ready, she ran back to her dad and stood seriously. Dad laughed at her serious expression, put some change in Lily's bag, and reminded her, "Be careful when you go out. Remember to watch the road." Before Dad could even add, "Remember to wear your hat," Lily already understood. She knew the rule for going out when it was sunny was to wear a hat. She ran to get her favorite straw hat herself and put it on her head, carefully pulling the brim down to shade her forehead.
Rồi, xinh rồi, đẹp rồi.
She waved goodbye to her dad and quickly ran off. Lily crossed the familiar paths in her neighborhood. She wasn't lost at all, confidently turning into a small alley as a shortcut. In just a moment, she was standing in front of the grocery store.
Tôi có thể giúp gì được cho bạn Lily?
Walking into the store, she went straight to the spice aisle, stood on her tiptoes, and quickly chose the exact brand of salt her dad always used. Lily carefully opened her bag, took the money out to pay the shopkeeper, and then quickly brought the salt home. When she got home, she called out, "Dad, the salt is here."
Ly ơi, đây à. Rồi, Ly nhé, đi đây ngồi ạ.
My girl is so smart, thank you.
Có gì trứng đấy?
Dad patted Lily's head and took the bag of salt.
Hai trứng không? Ly lấy cho mày kéo này. Đây, mang đây. Đây. Để hũ nha. Đổ muối vào đây ha.
While Dad poured the salt into the jar to prepare for lunch, Lily's curiosity sparked again. She dipped her fingertip in, put it in her mouth, and her little face immediately wrinkled up from the salty taste. Dad saw her and chuckled. Salt is very salty. You can't eat it raw.
Cho Mỹ vào đây. Rồi đây nhé. Cho một ít thôi nhé. Ha. Mặt ha.
She didn't run off to play. She pulled over a small stool and sat next to her dad, watching him fry the eggs.
Trứng nhá. Đi ăn thịt trứng không? Ăn trứng không? Trứng chiên nhé. Ăn thử nha. Đây là trứng chiên nhé. Thấy không?
She watched intently as her dad cracked the eggs into a bowl, whisked them, and poured them into the sizzling pan. Lily loved watching the yellow, fragrant egg take shape.
Thấy không? Thấy chưa? Thấy chưa? Đó. Đẹp không? Đẹp không? Cái này tránh xa nó ra nhé, không nóng nữa. Đây là xong rồi ăn nhé. Thấy chưa?
Finally, when the eggs were cooked, Dad finished making lunch. Dad served the simple meal with a plate of fragrant fried eggs with onions and a bowl of vegetable soup in the living room. Lily had already run over and sat next to her dad, waiting eagerly. Dad smiled, served the rice, and put food on Lily's plate. He gave her the biggest piece of egg. Just like that, Lily and her dad's simple but loving lunch began.
Ăn trứng này đi. Trứng này. Ăn mỗi cơm không phải? Rau này. Rau này đi. Thấy rau không? Này. Thế ăn mỗi cơm thôi nhỉ? Không thích ăn đồ ăn à? Phải để rau đây. Cẩn thận nào.
Lily's cheerful chatter mixed with her dad's gentle care, creating a warm and happy afternoon.
Sao thế? Trứng ngon mà. Trứng ngon mà. Ngon nhỉ? Được không? Ăn rau được đấy. Tỏi. Đây này. Đây này đi.
The warm lunch ended, and Lily's full stomach and her dad's care made her very happy. She happily climbed into her familiar chair to watch the computer on the desk, completely lost in the colorful cartoon world.
Linh vào học bài nhé, bay làm nhé.
Suddenly, Dad has to go out for a little while, Lily. Be good at home, okay? She quickly scrambled off the chair and padded out to the living room. "Dad, wait for me!" Lily ran after him to the front door, but all she could do was stop short. The vehicle had already zoomed off. Dad had disappeared around the corner. A huge wave of disappointment hit her. Lily stood behind the clear glass door, her two small hands pressed flat against the cool glass. She called for her dad hopelessly. "Dad! Dad!" Her calls were blocked by the silent glass, weak and lost in the midday quiet. She sadly turned around and ran back into the house. Her gaze passed over the laptop, which was still on, but all her interest was gone. Wanting to wait for her dad, Lily, with her smarts and determination, used all her strength and began to drag a chair close to the front door. This was a strategic position where she could see her dad the very second he appeared. But Lily waited for a very long time. She changed her lying position many times. Sometimes lying on her back, hands on her forehead as if thinking. Sometimes flipping over onto her stomach, resting her chin on her hands and staring at the door until her chin was sore. Sometimes curling up like a little cat comforting itself. Dad still didn't come home. Lily couldn't patiently sit still any longer. She slid off the chair. With a visible sigh, Lily ran back inside the house, perhaps to find a toy or something to fill the empty time. After playing for a bit, Lily felt hungry again. She scampered to the yellow fridge, opened it, and pulled out a bright red dragon fruit. With a fork as her weapon, Lily sat at the table and tried to open it. However, the thick, slippery skin gave her trouble. After struggling for a moment, Lily decided to use brute force. She threw the dragon fruit hard onto the floor, smashing it open and splattering pink juice everywhere. Unfazed by the mess she'd made, Lily happily used her fork to scoop out and eat the sweet fruit. When she finished eating, perhaps feeling a little guilty about the mess, Lily started to clean up. She picked up the broken pieces of the dragon fruit peel, gathered them together, and put them in a small basket. After finishing her job, Lily ran to her soft cushion, lay down, and rolled back and forth, her face adorably smeared with pink dragon fruit stains. Sleepiness quickly set in after such a long day. Lily lay quietly on her cushion, her eyes getting heavy before slowly closing. She fell into a deep sleep, ending a long day filled with mischievous games and sweet moments with her beloved dad. Dad led Lily to a small wooden table and kindly set out some pre-cut grapes on a plate for her. Lily sat nicely on her chair, holding a small fork, and carefully speared each piece of grape, enjoying her snack. Meanwhile, maybe from being out in the sun, Dad felt a bit tired. He walked over to the sofa and lay down to rest. After finishing her snack, Lily saw her dad lying down, tired. She immediately ran to his side, climbed up onto his chest, pressed her cheek against his, and gave him sweet kisses, as if trying to comfort him.
Thương bác hả? Thương nha.
Seeing he still seemed tired, Lily suddenly had an idea. She quickly ran back to the fridge, opened the door, grabbed a bottle of cold water, and brought it to him. Dad was very surprised and touched by his little daughter's thoughtful gesture. He sat up, took the water bottle, and smiled, thanking Lily.
Cảm ơn Ly nhé. Để ba tự mở cho nhé. Con mở luôn hả? Tôi để ba tự mở cho nhé. Cảm ơn Ly nhé. Nè. Ngồi đây, ngồi đây. Ngồi xuống đi, ngồi đây.
After taking a drink and feeling better, Dad wrapped his arms tightly around Lily.
Đi giỏi nha. Lấy nước ở đâu đấy? Lấy nước ở đâu đấy? Không phải đâu. Ăn nghỉ tí nhé. Nào, đi.
He gently settled her on his chest, and the two of them drifted off into a peaceful, warm afternoon nap together. One peaceful morning, in their sunny home, Lily, an adorable baby monkey with pinkish fur, was enjoying a sweet moment with her dad.
Đó, phá rơi luôn đi nha.
He gently held her in his lap, carefully and tenderly trimming each of her tiny fingernails.
Có một chút đẹp rồi đấy. Nè, rửa nha. Đánh nè cho nó sạch nha.
Lily sat obediently in his warm embrace, her trusting eyes looking around as she soaked in the feeling of being safe and cared for.
Thấy chưa? Thôi đi học bài nhé.
When he finished, Dad smiled and patted his little daughter's head.
Đi nấu đồ ăn cho Ly ăn nhé.
As if she knew the routine, Lily hopped down from his lap and scampered over to her small study table. She climbed onto her chair and began flipping through the pages of a book, pretending to study hard. With a pencil in hand, Lily scribbled aimlessly in her notebook, occasionally looking up as if searching for something more exciting. the background, Lily's dad was busy in the kitchen doing housework. Lily peeked over at him every now and then before looking back at her notebook.
Viết đi con, viết bài đi nhé, được chưa? Đúng rồi, viết bài đi.
Suddenly, a little
Lily,
rumble
hả?
came from
Bỏ
Lily's
bút xuống
tummy.
đấy.
Hearing it,
Rồi, lại
Dad
xuống
turned
đi.
and said,
Lại tủ đi xuống đi con.
"Is Lily's tummy hungry? Why don't you go to the fridge and get yourself some milk?" She left her desk and walked straight to the bright yellow refrigerator. With her small hands, Lily cleverly opened the door and pulled out a carton of fresh milk. She brought it back to her desk, carefully stuck a straw in, and started to drink.
Lily, ngủ ngon nhé. Xong những bài đi con.
Her eyes sparkling with delight. While sipping her milk, Lily looked over at her dad, who had now started doing the laundry, as if to confirm he was still occupied. When she finished, Lily responsibly threw the empty carton in the trash, pretending to be a very neat little girl. Back at her desk, Lily picked up her pencil, but it was clear her focus was gone. Her mischievous eyes darted around the room, as if looking for an escape route. She pretended to draw in her notebook, but her mind was already on adventures outside.
Sao? Tốt rồi nhé. Bài đi nhé. Được chưa? Mai chưa?
When her dad walked past with a basket of clothes and went into the bathroom, Lily knew she had the perfect chance to carry out her plan. She stared at her book for another moment, then suddenly stood up, looking very determined. Lily tiptoed to the front door, trying to open it. She peeked out, her eyes wide with curiosity and a desire to explore the world outside. After making sure her dad was still busy, Lily made her move. Lily found a cute straw hat. She put it on her head, looking like a tiny farmer. She quickly slipped out the door and confidently walked out the gate. Immediately, Lily ran across the green grass and straight to the goat pen, where her best friend was waiting. With her usual agility, Lily skillfully climbed onto the goat's back and started to ride. She happily rode the goat all around the garden. While back in the house, her dad was completely unaware of his mischievous daughter's great escape. During her ride, Lily spotted a ripe yellow watermelon lying on the ground. She immediately climbed off the goat, managed to pick up the watermelon, and eagerly shared it with her four-legged friend. The two of them enjoyed the tasty snack together, and Lily gently petted her goat friend. A little while later, Lily's dad finished the laundry and returned to the room, only to find her desk empty. He looked around, puzzled.
Lily. Lily.
Worried, he rushed into the garden, calling Lily's name and searching everywhere.
Lily. Tao mua ly ở đây.
Eventually, he found Lily's straw hat lying next to the goat's feeding trough, the only clue to her adventure. He looked around, calling her name again, but got no answer.
Lily.
Dad had no idea that just a few feet away, hidden in a thick bush, his little monkey was hiding, peeking out at him with a proud look on her face, pleased with her successful escape.
Lily. Ăn gì đây? Ăn dưa à? Hả? Ăn dưa à? Dưa thơm quá nhỉ?
After her garden adventure, Lily came back inside. The golden afternoon sun stretched across the village path, signaling that a long day was coming to an end. After school, Dad came to pick Lily up. On the familiar dirt road, Lily looked adorable with her small, pretty straw hat and a neat little backpack. She toddled along beside her dad, her clear eyes curiously observing everything around her. Occasionally, she would stop to pluck blades of green grass from the roadside with her tiny hands and respectfully offer them to her dad, like a small, loving gift. The two continued their journey, each heart warmed with a private joy. Arriving in their cool yard brought a sense of relief to them both. The first thing Lily did was fumble to take off her heavy backpack, mumbling a request. "Dad, can you put this away for me, please?" Dad smiled, gently taking the backpack and placing it neatly in a corner. "Today, we're going to make some super delicious watermelon juice," Dad suggested. The kitchen instantly became a lively place. Dad took a large watermelon and cut it in half. Revealing the juicy, deep red flesh. He skillfully peeled away the tough green rind. Lily didn't stand still. She was given a very important mission: to pick up the pieces of watermelon rind her dad had just cut and put them into a small basket. She worked very seriously, her cheeks puffed out in concentration. When the vibrant red watermelon pieces were cut into cubes, Lily had a new task. Her small, nimble hands quickly and neatly moved each piece from the cutting board to a large bowl. She felt very grown up and useful helping her dad. When it was time to juice, Lily was incredibly excited. She stood next to the juicer, taking each piece of watermelon from her dad and skillfully pushing it into the machine. The whirring of the juicer sounded like a cheerful tune, and then a stream of brilliant ruby red juice slowly flowed out, filling the glass. A sweet, fresh aroma spread throughout the kitchen.
Đúng rồi, thêm nữa đi. Đúng rồi, thêm nữa đi con. Một cái thôi, đây này, cái đây này. Lấy cái đó, đúng không? Lấy bỏ đây. Đó. Rồi. Rồi, cái tiếp nha. Đây, cái tay này. Đó, tay dưới đây nha. Đó. Ok. Được rồi. Rồi mình chở vào đi nhá. Mình chở vào đi. Này. Về. Rồi.
The result of their teamwork was a glass of pure juice, with no added sugar, yet still bursting with natural sweetness.
Rồi. Tắt vào đây nhé. Rồi, chờ tí nhé. Chờ bác đi. Thêm một tí dưa hấu nữa nha.
Not only that, but Dad also thoughtfully prepared a plate of pre-cut watermelon, arranged beautifully.
Thêm một tí dưa hấu nữa nha. Đấy. Rồi. Đây này, Ly ơi, Ly. Đây này, mở tủ đi con. Ui giời, lấy ống đi. Lấy ống đi, đúng rồi. Ăn ra bàn đi.
Lily sat in her little chair, delightedly holding a straw and savoring the cool, sweet taste of the juice she had helped make.
Rồi. Ngon chưa?
It's so yummy, Dad. So refreshing. She closed her eyes to enjoy it. A small streak of juice still on the corner of her mouth, looking utterly charming. Lily picked up a small fork, carefully speared each piece of watermelon, and ate with relish, fully enjoying the peaceful and sweet moment with her beloved Dad.
Thôi chưa? Ngon ha. Từ từ thôi nhé, không có đổ nhé.
For Dad, happiness was sometimes just that simple. Walking home with his daughter, preparing a refreshing treat together, and seeing her eat and drink with such enjoyment. The sweetness of the watermelon today would perhaps become a sweet memory that would stay with them for the rest of their lives. While Lily was still enjoying her watermelon, her dad changed into his simple work clothes, slung his familiar hoe over his shoulder, and began his usual work. The sound of the hoe striking the ground was steady, turning over clumps of moist, soft earth, promising a good season of green vegetables for his little girl. Meanwhile, in a corner of the yard, little Lily, in a bright yellow shirt, her hands gripping the wooden fence, her big round eyes fixed on her dad's sturdy back. In her eyes, her dad was immense, so strong. Suddenly, an idea sparked in her mind. Dad is working so hard, I have to do something for him. So she ran quickly back into the house. Lily went to her small desk, where her bag and helmet from the morning still lay. She carefully slung the bag over her shoulder, then climbed onto a cabinet to reach her blue helmet. She tried to put it on her head, looking quite comical. Her vehicle for the trip was a lovely pink toy car. She excitedly climbed in, gripping the steering wheel. Lily fumbled with all the buttons on the dashboard, but the car remained still. She looked around in confusion, not understanding why her adventure couldn't begin. A little disappointed, Lily quickly came up with a new plan. She climbed out of the car, went back to the cabinet, and swapped the helmet for her straw hat. She now looked like a real tiny farmer. With her straw hat and bag, she decided to undertake a more important mission, to buy water for her hardworking dad in the garden. She toddled down the village path to the small stall at the end of the lane.
Chào Ly nha. Anh mới gì Ly? Con mới gì con lựa đi nha. Rồi. Rửa đi. Miếng này hả? Tiền đây ba nha. Cả đám.
She picked up a bottle of water, then solemnly held out her money to pay the shopkeeper before quickly carrying the water back to her dad. Lily held the bottle, toddling along the dirt path, passing through her secret banana forest to get back to the garden. The water bottle in her hand felt like a precious treasure. Reaching her dad, she offered him the water, then stood on her tiptoes, taking his hat to wipe the beads of sweat from his forehead. Her dad's heart melted at this small, yet deeply loving gesture.
Đâu xem nào. Đây, tôi mở cho. Tôi vào đôi mát nhé, nắng quá. Nắng không? Tôi mở nhé, mở đi con. Mở đi. Mở đi. Đấy. Đây ha.
He didn't drink right away, but opened the bottle and carefully held it to Lily's lips so she could drink first.
Nữa không? Nữa không? Rồi nhé, đừng yên con.
Under the afternoon sun, the two shared the cool, refreshing water. The sweetness of the water seemed to blend with the sweetness of their father-daughter bond, simple yet sacred. After their rest, the dad swept his little daughter up into his arms. Together, they walked through the banana garden, passed through the familiar gate, and returned home. The dad's workday ended with that sweet image, an image of boundless love, of peaceful and priceless moments that would forever remain in the memories of them both. On a peaceful morning, Lily, the little monkey in a pure white dress, was sitting quietly in her dad's lap. They were watching something interesting on the phone when, from a distance, her aunt's loving call, "Lily," rang out. Lily's little ears perked up, and her big round eyes lit up with pure joy. She immediately slid off her dad's lap without a moment's hesitation. With surprising determination, little Lily scampered across the large brick courtyard, heading straight for the iron gate. She seemed to know exactly what to do. Her tiny hands gripped the bars, and with amazing agility, she began to climb, trying to peek outside to see her aunt's familiar face. The moment the gate was opened and her aunt appeared, Lily was lifted into a warm hug. She snuggled her head into her aunt's shoulder, her eyes filled with happiness.
Ủa ai Ly? Ai vậy? Ồ, đi Nhung đi chơi hả? Dẫn đi Nhung qua đây con. Qua đây.
Em vừa mới tới lên. Ly mở cửa cho em.
When her aunt came inside, Lily was handed back to her dad.
Sao? Nhung đi chơi con đấy. Ha? Thích không?
Ly, chị có mua quà cho Lily nè.
But her joy truly bubbled over when her aunt brought out special gifts.
Wow!
A bag of juicy green grapes and a pack of her favorite milk.
Đúng rồi, vào đây, lên.
Chị cầm giúp Ly nha. Mình vào nhà uống sữa thôi Ly ơi. Mình vào nhà không?
Dạ, đi vào nhà rồi. Yeah, vào đi ngồi. Đây. Đúng rồi. Rồi chơi cái gì nha. Đấy.
Chị mua cà mua sữa cho Lily nè.
Lily's eyes shone brightly, and she couldn't hide her excitement as she ran around the table, curiously touching each gift.
Ly ha. Được nha. Đây nè, cái cây của Ly đấy.
Lily giỏi lắm. Lily biết mở cửa cho gì nữa đó.
Ly giỏi quá ha. Đấy.
Lily ơi, qua đây ngồi nhớ.
Ly nhớ gì lắm vậy?
Dì tới có mua quà cho Lily kìa.
Đó. Thích chưa?
Lily có thích không? Chúc ba cắt cho Lily ăn nha. Nha. Dì giỏi lắm.
But the most touching moment was yet to come.
Dạ bữa giờ em mắc đi làm.
Without anyone telling her to, Lily ran to the yellow refrigerator and used all her strength to pull the heavy door open. She quickly grabbed a cool bottle of water and toddled back to hand it directly to her aunt.
Vâng Lily nha, đây đang ngồi với gì? Lily ơi, đi đây. Đang ngồi với gì? À, Lily nghe thấy trời nóng à. Biết gì khát nước à?
Đúng
Vâng
rồi.
Lily nha, đi uống nè.
Ly giỏi quá ha. Cảm ơn Ly nha.
Vâng Lily nha.
The small gesture, filled with such deep care and love, made both her dad and aunt smile warmly.
Dì biết Ly thích nho đấy, nghe chưa?
Ngon không Ly? Dì mua ngon nha. Ngon hả Ly? Ngon hả? Ngon rồi. Ăn đi còn nhiều đó nghe. Nha. Chị với Lily đi chơi nha. Đi. Chị với Lily đi chơi thôi.
To reward the sweet girl, her aunt decided to take Lily on an outing. They left the house together, beginning a small adventure.
Lily, lại đây dì bé Lily ơi. Đây dì bé. Mình đi chơi nha. Lily. Mình đi chơi nha. Cào đẹp chưa nè. Thấy cào đẹp không?
They went to a peaceful countryside area with a wooden bridge that crossed a small river covered in water hyacinths.
Đây cô cá kìa Lily.
Lily was held in her aunt's arms, curiously pointing and watching the people fishing.
Cái nhả trong hầu nè.
Có cá gì Lily? Lily. Có cá gì?
Đằng này có cá nữa rồi.
She even playfully walked along the bridge's railing, but always with her aunt's protective hand nearby.
Mình vô quán cà phê đi Ly. Vô quán cà phê không?
Their next stop was a rustic garden cafe.
Yeah. Lily uống gì? Lily uống gì kìa? Lily uống gì? Lily ăn trái cây à? Lily ăn đi, cái gì cho uống sữa chua nữa nha. Lily uống gì? Lily ăn trái cây à? Dì kêu cho Lily dĩa trái cây nha.
Lily sat obediently in her chair like a proper little girl, attentively watching her aunt read the menu.
Cho con một ly sữa chua Việt Quốc. Sữa chua chua hả? Dạ, một cái chua được đấy, một cái canh.
When cool drinks and a plate of fresh grapes arrived, Lily was once again delighted.
Đây, Lily ăn nho này.
She ate the grapes one by one, occasionally looking up at her aunt with grateful eyes.
Ngon không ơi? Lily ăn đi, cái gì cho thêm nghe. Lily ăn nho đi. Ngon Lily, nho ngọt không? Nho ở đây bón ngon quá à. Rớt nữa rồi, đi ra một ăn à. Lily con muốn uống thử không?
When Lily asked to try her aunt's blueberry yogurt smoothie, her aunt didn't hesitate to pour a little into a small cup for her.
Rồi, Lily uống thử của gì có ngon không? Ngon Lily. À, sữa chua của gì ngon quá à. Sữa chua ngon không?
Watching Lily drink it so eagerly, and then seeing her aunt gently use a napkin to wipe the purple stain from her lips, anyone could feel the boundless love they shared.
Lily có muốn uống nữa không? Lily uống thêm không? Bình lên. Rồi, Lily uống nè. Lily gì xe kìa. Lily ăn thêm nho không? Lily ăn thêm nho nhé. Ngon lắm. Lily ăn đi. Này có gì ăn nè. Lily ăn đi.